Good afternoon, everyone, and may I just say, I hope you all have a very good New Year's Eve tonight and Happy New Year for tomorrow. And I thought I'd start this video basically explaining the start of my year and how different it is from the start of the year to the end of the year. So, basically in 2022, I renewed my driving license. As we all do, when it comes up for its 10 years, we all have to send it off and make sure they're all renewed. Now, I did this, not a problem, sent it off, come back, didn't think anything of it. And now, I've had my motorcycle license since 2001. And I've ridden for over 20 years, never an issue. So one day I decide I'm going to go with my friends and I'm going to go test ride some bikes. Now bear in mind, I've been riding bikes my whole life. And I found a motorcycle that I really want to take out for a bit of a ride and just see what it's like for my friends. For him to tell me, you've got no license. Now, I thought, I've been going there a while, I thought genuinely he was messing around with me. And I just started laughing. I was like, oh, come on, it's very funny. He's like, no, mate, seriously, you've got no license. I was like, but I've been here before. You've seen my license. I've, as I say, picked up bikes from here before. He's like, yeah, but you have no license now. So he shows me my license and points it out, and there it is. Motorcycle Toteman's there, 79, but in brackets, 3 or 9 or whatever it is, for motor tricycle. So I'm completely just baffled by this. I was like, no, this, like, in my head I'm like, this is some kind of mistake. It's fine, I'll phone the DVLA. So, by the time I got home, it was quite late, DVLA office closed. So I phoned DVLA, gave my driving license number, explained, so you've taken my motorcycle all the time when I went with me. Could you explain to me why it's not on my license? And their first answer to me was, well, you have no motorcycle license, so you don't have an entitlement for it. I said, yes, I do. I've had it for over 20 years. I can even tell them the date I passed my test. And they're like, well, have you got any proof that you had it? So I think, oh, yeah, of course I have. I'm bound to have something here. Insurance documents, all that kind of things. So I'm thinking, okay, got to have some kind of copy. Got a copy of my license, so I got a copy of the front of the license, got a copy of the back. In the previous years. I'm like, god damn. So I'm like, no, have you got your past certificates? And I'm like, well, I passed my test well over 20 years ago. I've, like everybody, I've moved house by then and I was a reckless teenager. I have no idea where they are. I couldn't even tell you. Well, unless you can provide proof, we cannot issue your license back. If you can't provide proof, you're going to have to take your test again. So at this point, I'm furious. I'm looking everywhere. I'm phoning previous employees for copies of my license and all kinds of stuff nobody has a copy of, just the front, because they only needed a photo identity part of it and, my address off it. So I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? So I'm like, completely baffled. So I got my, I had an XJ600N at the time, and I'm just sat there like, what the hell am I going to do without this license? I've got this bike sitting there, I've been ruined. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I could have got myself in a lot of trouble. And to be fair, I should have double checked my license. I should have double checked it when it came back. But, I've never had a problem with it. It's never been an issue. So, you think, oh, my license come back, it's got, it's updated date. Fine, check it in my wallet, that's the end of it. Now I'm stuck in this predicament. What the hell do I do? So, for the life of me, I cannot get the DVLA to give me my license back no matter what I tried. No matter what I tried, and whatever I gave them, insurance documents, whatever, no, unless you've got a copy of your past certificates, you cannot have your license back. I think, Jesus Christ, why is this happening to me? So, little quick Google search. Have a quick little look on Google to find out I'm not the only one. This has happened quite a lot. In fact, if you're into motovlogging and you like motovlogging, you know the name Spicy110. Now, Spicy actually did a video on this 2 years ago, roughly just before the time I found out I lost my license. Well, I hadn't known at the time we'd done a video. So I had a little Google search, onto some pages, find out I'm not the only one. And this happens quite regularly to all other categories. A friend of mine said that, you know, he works for a coach company, and a lot of the drivers, they all lose their PCV licenses on a regular basis when they send their licenses off for renewal. It's only because the company keeps a lot of records of the and things like that, that they, you know, of everything that they need so they can get their licenses back. And even then, it might take them 3 months to get their license back, while they provide proof and the license goes back off again and it's reissued. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And while looking online, I found one poor chap, his driving license for his car, you know, he'd had that removed and they put a motorcycle entitlement on his license. He's got a full entitlement to ride any size bike he wants. Now, you know, he's never ridden a bike in his life, and I was reading all his comments, and he basically said, I just got a little 50cc scooter just so I could get to work whilst I was waiting for my car license to come back. And he said, I had no business being on that bike whatsoever. What the hell? So cut a long story short, I'm like, right, I guess I'm stuck. I'm going to have to take my license. So we start the process, all of it again. I last did this over 20 years ago, so this is going to be interesting. So first things first, let's go get the CBT done. So 2023, no, was it 23? 2023, yeah. Summer of 2023, went and got my CBT, sold my XJ600, should never have done that, and bought myself a little Chinese 125. That was a bad mistake as well. And I bought that on the day of passing my CBT because I just wanted to get back out on the road. I was in a bit of a rush. And to be honest, I wish I'd never had done that, because that was just the most awful machine I've ever seen. I didn't even ride it, I just bought it sight unseen pretty much. Rode it around for a little bit and was just disgusted by it. In between that, passed my theory test for my motorcycle about a month after doing my CBT. And then saved up a little bit and didn't ride that Chinese bike because it was just so bad, it was unsafe, in my opinion, and I've ridden a lot of bikes over the years. So saved up a little bit of extra money, sold the Chinese 125, and I sold it for more than what I paid for it, actually. And I bought the bike I'm sat on now, which is a Honda Varadero 125 XL. I'd always wanted one when I first saw them come out in the early 2000s, because I saw it and I had no idea it was a 125. It looks like, it's a 600 or something like that. It's a big looking bike, and I was very impressed by it. And I've always thought, if I ever get a chance, I'll buy one of those. So I thought, sod it, August 2023, I bought the Varadero. For some reason, I got a little disheartened. I was just so taken back by the fact that I had my license taken from me that I didn't know what to do. I was absolutely sick of it. But the new year came, and I decided, right, no, I'm getting my license back. How dare you take this from me? Whatever it takes, I'm going to get this back. So January, I started my lessons for my Mod 1. And I had explained to the instructors what happened with my license, and they were absolutely brilliant. They were so baffled themselves. They were great. They understood I could ride a bike. They just needed to get me back through my test and teach me, out of all the bad habits or habits that I have for keeping myself safe, and teach me all the things I needed to do to pass my test. So I did my training for my Mod 1, passed my Mod 1 in February, from having lessons at midway through January, and sorted my Mod 1 out and passed first time. So I'm like, yes, right, one more thing to go. All I got to do is pass my Mod 2. That's it. Just to do my Mod 2 test in March. Now, unfortunately, there was a double booking at the school, and it was just unfortunate, and I couldn't do it in March. So April came, and had another lesson beforehand, went and did my test, and I failed. And it's my own fault. I was speeding. I was doing 50 and a 30. I was taking my test there. I didn't really know. I was a bit unsure, and you know what it's like when you're a bit unsure, desperately trying to make sure you pass this test. I come out of a junction, saw a sign for 50. All the traffic was kind of going towards that speed, so I gunned it up to 50, hear the instructor shout, it's a 30, and I immediately know I failed. The worst bit about that is I had a perfect test. I had a perfect test until that point where I absolutely screwed it up. And even the examiner was absolutely gutted for me. So by then, I was completely disheartened. I'd already lost my license, failed my test, and I was just like, what the hell am I doing? I just, there's a lot of, I felt a lot of pressure personally, not from other people, but myself, kind of feeling like I needed to not let them down. And the second time around, I thought, right, this time I'm not going to let anybody know when I'm taking it. I'm just going to go and do it and book it and see what happens. But by then we are, let's see, we're end of August, where I decide, right, I've had enough. I want my license back, and I want to be able to go back out next season to ride. And even though I rode all through the summer, in as great as this 125 is, it's still a 125, and it's a brilliant 125. It comes test day, and thankfully I passed that one. I had 2 little minors, and I passed. Now, this is a little video to basically make people aware of how important it is to keep all of your documents. Whether you've passed or not, no matter how much time goes by, keep everything. Do never let anything happen to you what happened to me, because I can tell you right now, it is soul destroying. It cost me nearly £1,500 to get my license back in tests. I'll never do that again. I've got my certificates, they're now in a nice safe place. The DVLA will not give me my money back, or they should not be able to take your license by a wrong click of a button and say they've got no records or nothing. That's absolute nonsense. Someone somewhere must have a record of it. So everybody, please keep all your bits and bobs safe, because like this happens to you, you're going to have to do what I did and take your test again. Now, someone should be able to be accountable for things like this. If every 2 seconds they're going to lose their license because somebody presses a wrong button somewhere. So everybody, have a great new year. I'll catch up with you in that new year. Lots of plans for the channel, lots of how-tos, lots of things like that. If there's anything you want to see, drop me a little comment, give the like and subscribe a little tap, and I'll see you on the next one.